New York Times reported this past week on the pending release of the FBI's Uniform Crime Report, showing that the number of murders in the United States spiked by nearly 30% from 2019 to 2020. This news prompted this graphic, which on Twitter an Axios reporter aptly assessed as grim, and it prompted this tweet from former Trump White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, now with Fox, criticizing, quote, the U.S. murder rate under Biden. One problem with that, of course, Joe Biden was not the president in 2020. Donald Trump was. So this was the U.S. murder rate under Trump. Not that Trump should be personally blamed for the spike in murders. There are any number of reasons behind this spike, as criminologists are now studying, ranging from increased domestic violence due to COVID to policing challenges after the murder of George Floyd. As a policy matter, it's complicated. But as a human matter, of course, it is tragic. McEnany deleted her tweet, but I think it's worth taking a moment to look at her first impulse when confronted with these upsetting numbers of loss, of families destroyed, of humans eradicated from the face of the earth. Her first impulse seemed to be, how can I use this information to attack a politician I do not support? And that is an impulse we see all too often. You could strain your neck watching some commentators go from attacking Joe Biden for not evacuating Afghan special immigrant visa applicants quickly enough to attacking Joe Biden for admitting too many Afghans to the United States. It is a bipartisan affliction, as evidenced by commentators on the left who attacked Trump for years for deportation policies, who are now mum about Biden carrying on those same policies. I personally will never understand folks whose outrage about civilian victims of U.S. drone strikes or murder rates or the deaths of U.S. service members, that outrage entirely dependent on whether the president in office at that moment has a D or an R after their name. Yes, policies have real-world life or death consequences, and yes, politicians should be held accountable for those policies, of course. But if your first instinct when you learn about a tragedy is to try to figure out how to fit it into your view that your side is the good guys and the other side is the bad guys, and you will only accept the information that reaffirms that narrative, well, you're revealing a part of your soul that needs to be fixed, not a part that needs to be broadcast to the world.